Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Since we have our validation thingy here running, the next thing we need is to actually make this insert into tables. So what I want to do is generate our tables using our command line 2. So let's do that. So I'm going to go to here. There's a list that I created. These are the columns that I'm going to use for the users table. And then I'm going to create a countries table as well to list all countries in the world. I think there's like 150 or something. I'm not sure. But this is the users table. So I'm going to explain these columns here. So the ID column obviously is the primary key. We need that so that when we are trying to access information, we can just say ID number 2. So there's first name and last name. Now you can name these differently. You can do camel case like that. First name, last name, if you prefer that method. That's up to you. And then email, and then there's email verify as well. So the reason we have the email verify is so that we can verify the user's email address. And we save both the same email that so let's say we save an email for a user and then they verify it. Now, before they verify, this column will be empty. So just the fact that these two columns are different will signal to the system that you haven't verified your email yet. And then when you do the email verification, what it does is it copies the email from the email column into the email verify. So when these two match, it means you verified your email. Now, if later on you edit your email, then these two do not match anymore because this is your original email and there's going to be a new one. So then it will prompt you again to verify your email address. Okay. So if those match, then we know you are good to go. And then there's the user's email, the image, sorry, for a profile photo. And then there's gender. And then we have password, of course, the date of birth, and the channel ID. So this channel ID is the current channel that you're on. So we're going to have multiple channels per user, but we need to know what channel they're selected into right now. What channel are they editing at the moment or uploading to, for example. So that's what is going to be saved here. So this column will change every time the user switches to a different channel. So date created when we create the profile, when it was updated, and when it was deleted. Now you may be thinking, why save the date deleted if the record is deleted anyway? Well, the thing is, when you have a very large website, it's not a good idea to actually delete records, because every time you delete records, the MySQL database has to adjust its indexes. So in this case, the primary key will have to be adjusted. It's not really a big problem if you deleting a few rows at a time, but when you are deleting multiple rows at a time, it becomes a problem. It will slow the system down a little bit. Now, the thing is, users are not deleted in mass, so maybe that's not a big problem. But the issue is, let's say you have a video on YouTube. It's going to be orphaned if the user record is deleted entirely. So there are things that depend on, for example, knowing who uploaded this video and stuff. So instead, what we do, when the user says delete my profile, we simply hide it from view and mark it as deleted, which is this column right here. So these are called soft deletes. All right, so these are the columns we're going to have. And these are the columns for the countries table. So actually, if we're going to have countries, then we're going to have country ID over here, like that. All right, so let's create a migration file. So I'm going to go to migrations folder, and this is the users migration file. So I'm going to leave these guys here. I want to remove these. I don't like these quotes. So I'm going to delete them like that. Okay. Okay, so we need a first name here. Underscore name. Let me duplicate this to last name as well. There's the email, and instead of timestamp here, we're gonna have date created. Now, date created will be a date column, not date time. We don't need the time unless you want to save the time that this was created. You can put date time or just date, but let's just put date time in case that's what you want. There's no need to say unsigned here. The default can be null, that's fine. Oh, we already had this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me just duplicate this a few times. This is date updated, and then a date deleted. Now we're changing these to date time, so let me edit that. Oopsie daisy. Date time for all three. All right, so what mode do we have? Primary key. You could just put primary key here instead of putting these. I'll leave it here. That's fine. If you want, you can actually just copy this and say primary key over here. It'll still do the same thing. Okay, so let's look at that list again. Let me just copy it like so. I know those three are already there, even email. Okay, so we have email. Let me duplicate this to email verify. Okay. Let me go down here and paste these guys. So I'm going to move these guys in. So we already have, oops. Let me take them to the beginning and then back. Ooh. So maybe it's these that are not properly set. I like everything in one line. Don't judge me. All right, so email verify. Let's remove that. I'm gonna leave spaces here like so, just because I can. Okay, so image is variable character as well. In here we are saving the link to the file path to the image. So this could be sometimes a bit long. Let's just put maybe 512 characters. I like to use the 64, 32, 512, 1024 for no reason at all. It can be easily 500, it doesn't matter. And then we allow this one to be null if there is no value. And then gender as well will be variable character. Now in here, gender, we're going to put male, female, and other for those who want to use other. So I'm going to say female like so. Of all those, female will be the longest. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters. So we don't need more than that. So unless you're putting other information in there, you can just count what the longest one is. So that can be null as well. And password as well is variable character. Now password, we are not sure how much PHP is going to put in there. So let's just go 255 for, I think that's the maximum possible. Let's null that as well. The date of birth, this one, yeah, this one is just a date, not date time. And this is nullable as well. The channel ID will be an int because this follows in the channels table. We're gonna have excuse me, we're gonna have an int, and this will be unsigned because it doesn't have a negative value. The default value will be 0, and date created will be, Oh, we already have these guys, so let me remove these guys. Deleted will be an integer. We're going to have 0 for when it's not deleted, and then 1 when it's deleted. It's easier to save that kind of data, but int is a bit overkill for this. So there's one coded tiny int, which just goes up to 255 or 128 if they are negative values. So this is like 1, and let's just say unsigned. Not really important because we're only going to have 2 numbers in here, either 0 or 1. So maybe we can save this as a byte or something to make it smaller, but tiny int will do. The default value is 0. Let's go here. Same thing. Country ID will be int, unsigned int, because there are no negative values, and the default value will be 0. All right, so there we go. So datetime, no, whatever. Now, if there are things here that I'm going to be using to search for, then I could put a key on those things. So I'm going to put a comma here and duplicate this. So for example, the email, we will need a key because sometimes I will search a user using the email address. You could search by deleted as well. That's another thing to consider, or by country ID. Who knows? So if you're going to be searching for that, that's good. But I think we won't be searching here because this is a user profile. It's not really the user's channel. So keep that in mind. Let's put email as a key there, and let's remove the word primary. That way it's just a key. Make sure auto increment is at 1, and char set whatever these values you want. Okay, so far so good. I think this is gonna work out. And let's do the same for, instead of videos, table. I don't think we need this one. We can just copy some other thing when we need it. So I'm gonna remove this. Let me delete that file. And let me create the countries version. So I'm gonna copy from users, right click, new file, paste, save, and this one will be countries.php. All right. So just make sure you change the actual class name to match the file name, countries, and every reference to users should be countries. All right, so there we go. ID unsigned obviously is 10. You don't have to specify that 10 here if you say unsigned. So let me remove that just for the I don't know why. Okay, so there will be the actual country name. I'm not sure what the longest country name is, but we can check in a moment. So then the only one that comes close is deleted. So I'm gonna remove everything else. Now instead of deleted, we're gonna say disabled. That way we know we can disable some of these. I'm going to remove this key email. Also remove that comma there at the end. Otherwise that will create an error. Okay, so that is primary key, the ID, unsigned. Country name, maybe 30. Disabled, meaning if we say 1, then we don't read it when the time comes. Not no. Okay, so let's look at countries. You can go on Google and Google a list of all countries in the world in alphabetical order, and I found this website here. Now you don't have to use this one, it's entirely up to you. So I'm just gonna look for the longest, which is Democratic Republic of Congo, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here, which one is longer than that? Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this one. Let me just create a new file, paste that. Oops, that's not what I wanted to paste. I wanted to paste what I copied here. Did I even copy here? Okay, so copy. paste. All right. So if you look down here to the left, it's going to say column 33. That means that's 33 characters over there. So very useful. Let me go down here and see what could be longer. Maybe this one, Saint Vincent. Let's do that. What do you know? It's exactly as the Congo one. So this one is 33. So I think if we say 40 characters, we are covered, or 35, you know. Let's just say 35. So I'm going to go back here again to the countries.php. 35. Let's put that there. Now, in case there are longer countries, of course, you can, you can do what you need to do. Okay, so this is great. Now, inside in creating these migrations, you may consider seeding the migrations as well if you want to. That way you can have a third param that says seed, and then you can have a seeder here, which isn't very difficult to do. So what I'm going to do here is just say public function seed or something like that, right? So then we're going to seed this migration file. Now what seed means is just we're running the a query to insert default information that you may want to insert. So we're going to say table countries seeded successfully, something like that. So it's as easy as that. Now instead of create, we're going to run an insert here. So we have to create something like insert into countries, something like that, and then open bracket values, open close bracket, like that. Now we don't need to use prepared statements here. So in this one, we don't need to insert the ID. We can just say country, and then that's all really, because the default for this one is already 0. So country, and then the country name here. That's really all we need. So you can list all the countries here. Now these are values here, so you can put values, you can put a comma like this, and then let me remove that comma, and then put more values like so, right? So this is very valid. Values, 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 and so on. So what I'm going to do is create that query string. So I'm going to go down here and let me grab from here. I'm going to go down and grab all of them. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, 195. Wow, that's quite a bit. Okay, copy, and let's open a new and paste. Okay, so now let's do some batch editing here using what's this? So I just want to search for the numbers at the beginning, right? So I'm going to press Ctrl F, and I'm going to use a regular expression. This is where regular expressions really shine, right? So I'm going to put a caret at the beginning to say I want to search from the beginning. This should be a number, so I'm going to put a, because I know I want to select all numbers, so I'm going to put a range from 0 to 9, which is every number. And then I'm going to put a plus here to say number of any length, right? So select every number at the beginning of the line. So as you can see, it has selected all these numbers, which is great. Now, if there's any space after those numbers, select that too. So I'm going to do /s there. Now the space should be of 1 or more is fine. So as you can see, it has selected all the numbers, including the spaces up to where the text starts. So now I can click find all to select all of these, and then just press the backspace, which deletes all of those numbers there. Then I can use Shift Control and then right arrow key to select all that text there. But maybe that doesn't work because some of these countries have spaces in them, and so it will be much easier to just do a search again. So I'll do a search here. This time I'll say from the beginning a caret, and then there should be, let me actually just delete this one here at the end. We don't need that guy. Ctrl F, let's put a caret, and then square brackets, A to Z, A to Z, and then capital A to capital Z, and then plus, like that. And then let's put spaces in there as well. All right. So everything up to a space there. So that selects all the countries without all the extra stuff. So in this one, I'm going to say again, find all. And then I'm going to cut, select everything, and paste. Okay. So now there are spaces at the end of each of these strings. I don't want those spaces. So I'm going to find this, say find, and put /s to find the spaces. And as you can see, those are the spaces here. Now I only want the spaces at the end. I'm going to say plus to select all the spaces. The spaces are already at the end, but if it, no, actually it selects even the spaces in between the names there. I don't want to remove those. So what I'm going to do is put a $sign at the end to say only the ones at the end of the text, at the end of the line, right? So that's what is selected. So I'm going to find all of these and press the backspace like that. Okay, so now we have all these countries nice and clean. I'm going to select all of them. Actually, just press home to go to the beginning. And what to do here? Actually, let me just select all. Oh, wait. Let me undo. Press that. Press home. And then I want to put a bracket, quote, and then go to the end by pressing end, quote, bracket, and then a comma, like that. Okay, so let me select everything here, copy. Let's go to the countries, and right about here, I will paste, like so. Okay, let me remove the final comma, and select all of these guys. Come back here. Now, before, let me go up here. Oops, every time I tab, it goes to the bottom. So one more tab there. Let's go back to the top. Yeah, what's going on here? Costa Rica. Let me see. Yeah, must be a mistake here. So let me go back here and undo what I did, just to make sure that I didn't delete the wrong stuff on Costa Rica here. Where is Costa Rica? Oh, there it is. Okay, so there were some characters that I missed. This is Côte d'Ivoire. I didn't include these characters in the selection, so that's good. At least I know that's one item I missed. Let me see some more. If there's a line that I missed, any other? This one as well. Guinea-Bissau. What else? So those are the characters I didn't add to the selection list. I only added spaces. That one as well. Okay. Okay, so there's this one. Timor. Let me find that guy. El Salvador. In the T's. Where is that? Timor. Okay, let's go here. All right. Don't forget the comma there at the end. And let's find one more with the dash. Now you can use search instead of just looking with your eye, because your eye isn't as good as you think. Okay, so let's go to Guinea-Bissau. This is in the G's. There we go. Wait, there's Guinea and then there's Guinea-Bissau. Okay, that's cool. Paste that. Let's go to the end, comma. Save. And then there's Côte d'Ivoire. There we go. Or Ivory Coast. Where is Côte d'Ivoire? There we go. Comma. All right, guys. So that's data we can seed right there. Now, if you don't like the way it's going down like this, you can just change this to one line. It's up to you. So let me try running this query just to make sure it actually works. Okay. For now, what we're going to do is let's just run the migration file. Actually, it's a very simple thing to do if we just add the seeder. So let's add that as well. So I'm going to go to database at the very, no, not that, migration. So what I'm going to do is there's run here, which has action, table, and then here we're going to say seed. So this one will be a Boolean, true or false. So I'm going to just say seed. The default will be false. All right. So I'm going to grab this. Let me go down to where we're creating a table, right? So this is the up where we create, but then in this case, let me put some brackets here because we are adding more than one line now. So we need those. So once we do the up, then we're going to do class seed like that. Okay. Now this should only be available if seed is equal to true, like that. So if seed true. Now how do we make seed true or false? We go back to our migration file in the public folder, and then here we're just going to say seed like that. All right. So there's action, and then we expect a third param, which is seed like that, which is 03. And then even here we can say optional item seed like that. Okay. So to show that that's the help, we go into the migration file as well. Let's put that as well here. Seed. All right, so back to the migrate file. This could be null. So let me just do this and say we don't really care if seed is there or not sometimes. So I'm going to say seed is equal to there's an if statement here. If seed is equal to the text seed like that, then seed is equal to true. Else it's going to be equal to false. Let me move this a little bit back like so. Okay, now I can move this into a one-liner by just doing this and then saying true and then false like that. That's much cleaner if you ask me. Okay, so if seed is equal to seed, true, else false, and then we send it through there. Okay, great. So let's try and run a migration file. Let me go to our page. Where is our actual page? There it is. Now this is run in the command line. So let's do that. I'm going to go to my project folder, public. This is where I run my CMD. So I'm going to do PHP migrate and then all and then seed. Okay, so now the thing is, if I say migrate all and then I say migrate all, no. We're supposed to say create and then all and then seed. Now, on that seed thingy there, let me go back to the migration thing. We also have to check if the method seed actually exists. So I'm going to say, because sometimes it may not. So, and then we say, and the method exists. The object is this, right? Or is it? It's class. That's the object. And then the method name is seed. So if the method exists, run it. Okay, so there we go. So if I now press, let me just confirm that we don't have any tables yet. If I go down to the YouTube clone thingy here, database, there are no tables here. So let me run that. Okay, so countries created, unseeded, users created. Okay, great. So let's check it out. If I now refresh structure, there we go. So we have countries. If I click in there, I should see, oh, there are no seeds in there. Okay, something is wrong. And then the users table. Okay, so there we go. Things are running great, but the seed didn't work. So let's figure it out. I think it's the query that has a problem. So back here, let me try this. I think maybe this query may be illegal. We're going to fix that in the next video though. Let me just copy this and just see if we get an error. So let's test the query. And already there's an error that I can see here. So what does the error say? Ending quote was expected near bracket. Really? Why? Why should there be an ending quote? So values, there's a quote there. Oh, as you can see. Okay, so this is my bad. Where the problem starts is where we have Cote d'Ivoire, because it needs to be escaped like that. Okay, so yeah, that needed an escapation. So that's where the problem stemmed from. So let's go down to Cote d'Ivoire. And because we're using single quotes here, so maybe what you could do is just use double quotes instead to avoid this. So I'm going to select all of these guys like so. Come on. Okay, there we go. So let me just do double quotes and then go to the end and then double quotes there as well. Okay, what have I done wrong now? Cote d'Ivoire. Still, this looks weird for some reason. Those are double quotes, but okay, because of that single quote at the end. Zimbabwe. Okay, I think I broke something. What's going on here? I may have broken something. Okay, let me just undo. I don't want to fight this. Let me just do the simple thing and go to Cote d'Ivoire. Come on, this is the C's. There we go. Let me just escape. Oh, and my battery is low. Okay, just that one escape. So let's try this again. I'm going to run this, but with drop all. Okay, and then again, create all with a seed. Okay, so as simple as that. Let's go back to our table structure. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's go to browse. Let's go to structure. Oops, I'm supposed to go to the countries. So there's nothing. Okay, we're gonna fix that in the next video. Don't worry, guys. All right, hold up. I think the problem is the query itself here. So maybe what I can do is, let me undo a bit further. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there was a missing quote here. Let me go back to Cote d'Ivoire, right about here, and escape that value. Okay, so let's redo this one more time. So first of all, let's drop everything, and then let's create everything and seed. Okay. So let's go to browse. Let's see. All right, so all the countries are here now, which is good. It has saved. Now, a way to know if things didn't save properly, right? Let me go to the migration file. If the returned value here, let me see. Where is the seeding happening? So inside the migrate, I can see on this corner here. Okay, migration file countries down here, right about here. This one, seeded successfully, right? If the returned value in set ID is 0, so what you can say is you can say if right here. You can just put an if statement, because if it's 0, it's going to be false. If it's 1, so let me duplicate this. Let me do this. And then we're going to say else. So if things went well, that's going to be, let's see, could not seed, could not be seeded. Yeah, let's try that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that just to make a problem there. And let's see if it's going to catch that. So let's go back. This is the beauty of migrations, is you can drop stuff and then create it again that easily. Okay, so as you can see here, it says table countries could not be seeded successfully. So it recognized that, which is good, because the last insert ID was 0 because it didn't work out. Now, if I put everything back to normal, let's see if it's gonna work. Let me clear the screen. Let's try and drop everything first, and then let's try and create everything again. And as you can see, it's seeded properly. That's good. All right, guys. So I'll see you in the next video.